Alright, so hey, welcome. Today we are going to be talking about, and if you saw what the video title is, we're going to be talking about the new warriors. These guys right here. And the reason why we're talking about them is because I had my own take on what I thought about the new warriors. Now, most people are going to be like, oh, what's this guy going to complain about? Well, actually, I'm not really going to be complaining as much as talking about what I think could be done to actually fix or make it where the New Warriors is a viable comic. Because honestly, when I see this team, I actually think they could have potential. Not that what they have right now as a product is that great, but I feel that there are things that could be done to make this into an actual good comic. So first off, I'm gonna go through each character, what their name is, what they're about, and give like my take on like what they could do to possibly fix that character, and or if I actually like that character. So when they actually introduced the New Warriors, they had a video on it, and they were discussing about whatnot with these characters. And during that time, they didn't really give a story arc for how they were going to be introduced, what they were about. The truth is that they made these characters with an idea for what they wanted to make, but they didn't have any idea for what story they wanted. And the truth is that that's the problem. That's the main problem with this team right here. It's like, hey, I want to make evil Superman. Alright, cool, but what's the story? That's what people are interested in. They're not the idea of a character is okay, but if you give them it's like there's no story, there's no foundation, there's nothing behind these characters. It's just a concept, and honestly, that's not too great in my opinion. But anyway, so I'm gonna start off with what I feel is the team leader. Now, I don't know if this is the team leader or not, but I feel like this is the team leader. You got this character right here. Her name is Trailblazer, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, that's her name. Okay, so her name is Trailblazer. Honestly, she, out of the entire team, is the one I actually like. The reason why I actually like this character is she reminds me a lot of another character from a different comic book brand. If any of y'all read Valiant Comics, you'll know that they have a certain character by the name of Faith. And she's like my favorite fictional female character of all time. Faith is from the comic book Arbingers. And I feel like this character could be kind of like Marvel's version of Faith. The description for Trailblazer is that she is a character who charges headfirst into battle, and she has this backpack. And a lot of people don't really like her because she's kind of big or whatnot, and I don't really care about that. That's not a major deal to me. Now, I feel like if what would probably get people to actually like her more, if instead of saying she's the character that charges headfirst into battle, say the reason why she charges headfirst into battle is, as a leader, she would never ask somebody to do something that she wouldn't do herself. Now, as far as her powers go, she has this backpack that apparently she can pull anything out of, and I'm not 100% sure if she can control what comes out. I think it's like kind of random what comes out, so it's kind of like she's a utility character. She shouldn't really be the person charging headfirst in battle. But as a leader, I feel like, yeah, if she's willing to do, like, not ask anything of anyone that she wouldn't be willing to do herself, and she is a utility character, kind of like Batman or whatnot, in the sense that, you know, Batman's not their powerhouse, but he wouldn't ask anyone in the Justice League to do anything that he wouldn't do himself, but he would always assign the appropriate task to the appropriate hero. Be like, okay, we have this big dude who obviously needs a powerhouse to punch him down. He'd probably assign Wonder Woman or Superman, you know? Or it's like, we need microscopic, like, detail in defusing this bomb and whatnot. Probably gonna get the Atom, you know? But, you know, that's what I feel like they could do with this character right here, and that would probably make her a better character. At least people would like her more. But as it stands, you know, I don't know. A lot of people, from what I hear, when they heard about the New Warriors, they thought it was a joke or whatnot. But I feel like, you know, maybe if they just took a little bit more time to flesh out these characters and make it where their motivation makes sense or whatnot, like, instead of charging headfirst in battle, she was a leader who wouldn't tell people to do anything she wouldn't do herself. You know, if they fleshed out things like that better, you know, I feel like they liked the characters better, and that's what I feel like they could do with this character right here. Alright, so next we're going to move on to my least favorite character, is this guy right here. Alright, so we got this guy named Screentime, and apparently his backstory is that, and trust me when I say I hate the name, but his story is that apparently his grandpa infected him with, like, internet gas. Like, really? Somehow you turned the internet into a gas? But, I don't know. Maybe it makes sense in the story. Who knows? But I feel like they should have, like, okay, if you're going to take this character, and you're going to make him make more sense, instead of something as silly or unbelievable as, like, internet gas, what if we said he was a mutant, and his mutant power was that he could connect to the internet? Because that's what it is. His power is that he connects to the internet at all times. So he's basically a Google character. It's like, hey, how fast does this move or whatever? And it's like, the internet says this. And of course, that could be both his strength and his weakness, because the internet is not right all the time. You know, especially if you're looking up, like, Wikipedia or something like that, you know, you could see something that's obviously not true, because Wikipedia is edited by people, not by the source or whatnot. You know, you could look on YouTube, for instance, you know, and see, like, videos about people talking about their opinions on something, just like me, and, you know, my opinion could be wrong, you know, who knows. But, you know, that could be his strength and his weakness. You know, he's able to find out these obscure facts, but it's not always correct. That could be something cool with him. Also, I'm not really a fan of, like, the Cyclops eye thing. I feel like he'd be a lot cooler if they, like, took that off, maybe. I don't know. I know what they were going for. They were going for, like, a VR headset kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of characters that actually have the Cyclops eyes, except for, like, a couple of new ones coming out, but I personally just don't like it. But yeah, as a character, I'm not really a fan of him, just because he's so stupid. Internet gas, really? I guess it's really hard for me to explain my feelings for why I don't like this character in particular, but, yeah, I mean, maybe if they changed his name to something else as well, because, like, Screentime is just not a cool superhero sounding name. It's just kind of on the nose, and you'll find that with, like, all the characters on this team. Trailblazer charges first into battle, Screentime does internet, so on and so forth. Yeah, all their characters, the names are just too on the nose. It's not that great. But, you know, then you got, like, you got the reason that most people don't like this team, and I'm not gonna say everybody don't like everybody, I'm not going to say everybody do not like these characters, but you have these two characters right here. You got Snowflake and Safe Space, and apparently who they are as characters is more important than what their powers are. But for the sake of describing who they are, I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you, starting with Safe Space, because that's the one they start with. Safe Space is this dude who they say is basically a jock, I guess, and his thing is that he has the ability to create shields around other people. Both Safe Space and Snowflake, just so you know, they didn't name themselves after their powers. They named themselves after the word because they wanted to take back the meaning of the word. And honestly, if that was the case, then why would you give them powers that it's just like their name? You know, it's like too on the nose. You know, I've seen people online like rename these characters different things like Guardian and Hellstorm or something like that, which honestly that sounds a little bit cooler than Safe Space. You know, be like Guardian, you know, this guy who protects others with shields and whatnot. And the reason, like, I don't care about his outfit or anything like that. A lot of people are like, it's pink, and I don't really care, honestly. You know, whatever. You know, I remember way back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, people would say real men wear pink. So I personally, I don't care that his outfit is pink. Then you got Snowflake right here. Now, here's the thing about Snowflake, and they decided to make this the selling factor about Snowflake when they were introducing this person. They said Snowflake is non-binary. They prefer to be referred to as they, them, so on and so forth, which, you know, that's fine. And whatnot, and then they describe the power as basically able to make ice shuriken. And it's like, again, they named themselves after the word and not after their powers. Their powers have to be what their word is, and it's like, what? It's like, okay, if you're gonna name yourself Snowflake or whatnot, then give them a power that's not snow-based or whatnot. I don't know. Or if that's the case, if their power is going to be Snowflake shurikens, then name them something that's not, make it where their story be like, hey, I come up with this power. I wake up one day, hey, I got this power. I have the ability to make snow shurikens. I'll name myself Snowflake. That would make a lot more sense than saying I name myself Snowflake. Oh, and also my power happens to be the ability to make snowflake shurikens. It's like what a coincidence kind of thing. But they made the selling factor is like this character is non-binary, and that's the only thing that makes this character special according to Marvel. At least that's how it sounded to me. And I would have been like if I had introduced this character, like keeping the character the exact same way, basically, I would have been like, alright, so Snowflake is a person who has snow-based powers, and they named themselves Snowflake. Okay, and so on and so forth. And then eventually I would be like, okay, so if you hadn't noticed, I've been referring to this person as they and them. That is because this person is non-binary. And be like, here's the reason why I decided to make this character non-binary. And that is because non-binary people exist in real life. So it would make logical sense that non-binary people would exist in the Marvel universe. That would be the reasoning behind it. Instead of saying they're non-binary because I just wanted to make a non-binary character, it would be better and more fluent to say they're non-binary because non-binary people exist. Of course there's going to be non-binary characters. They're going to be gay superheroes, they're going to be lesbian superheroes, they're going to be non-binary superheroes, you know, black, Hispanic, Asian. There's always going to be superheroes of everything, right? So that would be a lot better than saying I wanted to make this character because I wanted to make a character of this. It would be more like, I don't know, I feel like it would be better world building, you know? But anyway, let's move on to the final member of this team right here. You got this guy right here. Alright. Now, his name is B Negative. And apparently his story is that Morbius, the vampire, I don't remember what his actual, because I never actually read a Morbius comic. I don't remember what his actual name in the comic is. It's like something like Morbius the Ever Living or something like that. But anyway, apparently he got a blood transfusion from him, and now he's a vampire. And he decided to name himself B Negative. Now his name is really what my biggest deal with this character is, because as far as I can tell, he looks really passable. It kind of reminds me of like the 90s, early 2000s, you know, kind of like a punk character. And I like that. I actually like that style. But his name is just stupid to me. It's like, really? You're a vampire, your name B Negative because you want to be negative all the time or whatnot? Like, really? That's stupid. If it had been up to me, I'd be like, okay, so I'd name this guy like Frank or whatnot. Be like Frank the Vampire, you know? You know, kind of like go with the Fright Night kind of approach to it and be like, make almost a joke out of it, where it's like everybody's constantly saying something along the lines of, oh, what's your cool vampire name, or something like that. It'd be like Frank, and they'd be like, what? That doesn't sound like a vampire name to me. Well, I mean, that's my name. You know, that would be pretty cool. But instead they named him B Negative, and I don't know, I thought that was hokey. But yeah, he's a vampire, has all the powers of a vampire. You know, he likes to dress goth. Maybe he was goth before he became a vampire, who knows. But kind of got those Batman leggings on right there. But yeah, B Negative, he seems like a passable character. Like, I was thinking when I first saw that the New Warriors came out, I was thinking, you know, it'd be kind of funny if, like, issue number 1 of New Warriors came out, and, you know, they had their adventure or whatnot, they formed into a team, and then at the very end of issue number 1, B Negative, like, is, like, drinking the blood of, like, 2 of the characters, and the other 2 characters find out, and it's like, that's the end of the issue. And it's like, you thought we were making a story about these characters, but in actuality, we were making a story about this villain, B Negative, whose actual name is blah blah blah. Yeah, I feel like that would have been kind of cool. Not necessarily killing off all the members of the New Warriors, but it would have been a very interesting start to a comic, you know? But, you know, that's this comic, and a lot of people, they did not like the concept of this. And I'm not saying, like I don't get political or anything on my channel, but a lot of people on both political spectrums of conservative and liberal, they both did not like the concept of these characters, because it was like they were just making the character. They had the concept, but they didn't really care about the characters. They didn't care about whatever story they were in. They were just trying to basically create characters that they could basically, exploit people to buy their comics, right? And I feel like that's no reason or way to write a comic book. I feel like people, if they're going to write a story with characters, if you're going to create a new character, there would have to be a couple of rules with that. Rule number 1, don't make one character look good by making another character look bad. And then rule number 2, if you're going to make a character, have a plan for that character. Have full stories, because there's so many characters out there. And there's a few exceptions where they have the concept, they create the character, and they last for like one story before they slowly fade to the background, and, you know, people forget about them. That's very true with a lot of, like, the past so many Green Lanterns. Nobody really knows about any of the lanterns created after New 52. And it's kind of sad, because, you know, they had a concept and they didn't really care about the stories for this character. They just wanted to make the character with the concept. And you know, if you're going to make a character, make a story for them. tell people what that story is. See if people are interested in what story you want to make for these characters. But that's just my opinion. That's what I feel like. I feel like this team was a missed opportunity because they could have approached this in a much different way. But instead, they decided to make characters that were exploitative, or however you pronounce it, of the people who buy comics. They wanted to exploit the people to make a quick buck, and that's what I feel like with these characters. And I guess the people who saw these characters thought the same way. As it stands now, the New Warriors has been canceled. Anybody who's getting, that's as I'm recording right now, anybody who wanted a physical copy of this comic book's not going to be able to get one. But I hear that it might be available digital or whatnot. So if you are interested in these characters as they are presented, and you want to find out if the story connected to them is good, you could probably buy it digitally, hopefully. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these characters are actually good characters, and maybe they have a good story connected to them. Maybe they exist and are going to be a major factor in the Marvel Universe, but I highly doubt that. Anyway, if y'all want to tell me your opinion on these characters, if you think I'm right, if you think I'm terribly wrong, put it in the comments, let me know. I will read everything. I promise you, this video is not meant to hate on the New Warriors. It's simply meant to give my opinion on them. And of course, if you like this channel, you want to see more videos about the wasted potential of characters or whatnot, subscribe to the Nerd Steel channel. We play video games, we talk about comics and all kinds of other things. And of course, if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. I really want to hear what your opinions are of this video. And y'all have a great evening. Peace.